Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction by means of explosions.
What an embarrassment. What an absolute embarrassment. And I'm not talking about Jake the Bongo Tapper pretending to have a convenient case of color blindness, blaming the white man. That is no longer embarrassing to CNN. At this dump of a network, blaming the white man is step 2 in the employee handbook. By now, my audience already knows step 1. Go ahead and say step 1 with me, or it's been bad. In the last 24 hours, deacons at Woke United Methodist have been doing what they do best, which is polishing the turd. They tried to make excuses for Jake Tapper accusing the white man of a crime he did not commit. This was simply an oversight. It was a clerical error. You know, it's strange. These clerical errors at CNN, they always disproportionately affect one race. Matter of fact, these oversights disproportionately affect one gender of one race. Of all the 72 genders that are available, of all the choices, from non-binary to gender fluid, from they to them, somehow, some way, CNN always seems to blame the white man. Another excuse that I've been seeing, in Jake Tapper's defense, this suspect does have a white man's name. I mean, how many brothers are named Brian? Brian Branch? Pro Bowl safety for the Detroit Lions. Brian Williams, also known as Birdman, one of the co-founders of Cash Money Records. NFL Hall of Famer Brian Dawkins. Do I need to keep going? Hell, this dude could have been named Mahmoud Muhammad, and CNN would still find a way to call him a white man. But like I said, that's not the embarrassment that I'm talking about with the Cemetery News Network. As we prepare to open up voting for the 3rd annual Huge Embarrassing Failure Awards, CNN is making that final push to be crowned with the most prestigious award in all of entertainment. This ambitious dump. They are desperately fighting to be 2025's most embarrassing failure. Earlier this morning, Netflix announced that they were acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix has agreed to pay $72 billion for Warner Brothers film and studio operations along with HBO Max. For $72 billion, you would think that Netflix would be spending enough money to acquire all assets controlled by Warner Brothers Discovery. And I'm sure, hell, I'm damn near positive, Warner Brothers would have had no problem including the CNN Titanic in this deal. More than likely, they wouldn't even demand more money. They would tell Netflix to give them 70 instead of 72 billion if they agreed to take CNN. Unfortunately for the woke welfare collectors at CNN, Netflix said, that dog won't hunt. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. So we get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Fluffernoggin. I am not a big snacker. I don't eat a lot of junk food, but if there's one time of the year where I break this habit, it's football season. One of my favorite snacks to eat while I'm watching NFL Red Zone on Sunday afternoons, beef jerky. Problem is, a lot of beef jerky, it tastes like you're biting into a flat tire. Good news is, I no longer have that problem because I started buying gourmet beef jerky from Fluffernoggin. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell is a Fluffernoggin? Fluffernoggin is gourmet beef jerky that's 100% made in the USA. You don't have to worry about consuming foreign cows. These cows are homegrown. Each recipe from Fluffernoggin is handcrafted with the perfect amount of seasoning. It's the first beef jerky I've ever tasted that literally melts in your mouth. Fluffernoggin comes in a variety of flavors: mango habanero, Korean barbecue. They even have a flavoring of craft beer. Or if you like me, you'll just stick with the original style flavoring. Fluffernoggin beef jerky is the perfect stocking stuffer for Christmas. They're running a promotion during the holidays, so click the link in the description below. Use promo code BTL30, BTL30. Receive 30% off your first purchase with Fluffernoggin. Headline at the New York Times: CNN excluded from Netflix Warner Brothers deal. The question is why. As a 24-hour streaming service, Netflix can never have enough content. These reality shows they produce, they're only good for a couple of days. Netflix releases all 8 or 10 episodes at once, and Lonely Women have finished the entire series by lunch. As a streaming service who's constantly looking for fresh content, acquiring a cable news network seems like an ideal solution. CNN broadcasts 24 hours a day. The news is constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. Compared to scripted dramas or sitcoms, cable news isn't as expensive to produce. So why would Netflix spend $72 billion on Warner Brothers and intentionally exclude the woke welfare collectors at CNN? I mean, that doesn't sound very inclusive to me. I wonder why Netflix chose to dump CNN. I wonder if years of propaganda like this had anything to do with it. Watch for yourself.
Brian Cole Jr., a 30-year-old white man from the D.C. suburbs, is charged with transporting an explosive device in interstate commerce and with malicious destruction by means of explosions.
You said that she ran on defund the police. There were her past comments on that, but she said that that was basically when she was a private citizen, before she was representing the state legislature. I mean, that wasn't like a core tenet of her campaign. She talked about affordability. So I think my question is do you really think that's what every Democrat looks like? I mean, I don't think that was the main, that was something, the criticism of hers, obviously, in past comments, but that wasn't the, tenet of her campaign or anything.
She got asked about it repeatedly and refused to back away from it. And look, I'm just telling you, this is what Democrats believe, and this is what their base wants. It's why she wouldn't go back on it. I was just a private citizen. Oh my gosh, we've never held what you said as a private citizen against you in a political campaign.
Medicaid
I don't know why
is
people
still
can't take
not
a joke.
going to illegal immigrants, Scott.
It is.
And
It really does.
It's not.
It really does.
So
It does in
it's
several
not.
blue states.
Scott, no, it's not.
It really does.
Listen, SNAP does not go to undocumented immigrants. CHIP does not go to undocumented immigrants.
It absolutely does.
I don't know.
Besides the American hero Scott Jennings, I am a real American. Besides the American hero, damn near everyone else at CNN is a paid propagandist. They are literally paid to not tell you the truth. Netflix already has enough woke programming. Netflix already has enough shows that are designed to indoctrinate the audience. In a lot of cases, these shows are designed to indoctrinate children. So CNN really serves Netflix no purpose. The real question is, what does this mean for the future at CNN? More specifically, what does this mean for the unknowns hosting these primetime dumps who can't draw flies to a fresh turd? As of right now, CNN will operate under a new company called Discovery Global. They will be responsible for finding a proper burial place for this turd, whether it's the Woke Sea or the Pecker Pond, the Rectum River. Discovery Global will be responsible for finding the final resting place for the CNN Titanic, which means one of two things could happen here. Number one, Discovery Global maintains control of CNN. If this happens, CNN would likely be operating under a drastically reduced budget. Dudes like Wolf Blitzer, woof, 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 Jake Tapper, Anderson Cooper, these high-profile aging fossils making 8-figure salaries while delivering 8 dozen viewers. A drastically reduced budget, it could mean they are no longer employed. which wouldn't be surprising to my audience because Uncle KC has been telling you guys all year Andy Cooper is done at CNN. Option 2. Discovery Global could beg another media conglomerate to pay pennies for this worthless network. Now you got to remember, CNN has lost over $400 million in revenue in the last 3 years. Not only are they useless, hell, CNN's been useless for years, now they are worthless. You can't be both. You can't be useless and worthless. Believe it or not, there is one buyer that's potentially interested in acquiring CNN. Paramount, which is now owned by Skydance Media. The same Skydance Media that just acquired CBS. Same Skydance Media that's been recruiting the American hero Scott Jennings. If Paramount acquires CNN, we could see a drastic ideological shift at the network. David Ellison is the owner of Skydance Media. When he acquired CBS a few months ago, he promised the woke welfare collectors at CBS that there were not going to be any changes. He would not allow his conservative ideology to influence how he operated the network. Couple of weeks later, he hired a loyalist to Don Trump to be the ombudsman, and he hired Barry Weiss from the Free Press to run the day-to-day operations at CBS. Basically, David Ellison has been working hard to eradicate the woke fungus. If you're a woke welfare collector at CNN, you have got to be absolutely terrified because your job is at risk with both of these options. Both of these options are no bueno. With option 1, you're looking at a drastically reduced budget, the good days of making $15 million a year while entertaining 15 viewers. Those days are over. The only Christmas bonus in your stocking will be an unemployment check. With option 2, you're looking at an ideological shift at CNN, which could be dangerous for anyone who embraces Wiener. I told you guys years ago when Chris Licht became captain of the CNN Titanic, the only way to save the network was to eradicate the woke fungus. Unfortunately, Chris Licht tried a half-assed eradication, and the only thing that got him was a bruised ass when he got fired. If Skydance acquires CNN, we could see a complete eradication. Either way, the future looks bleak at CNN. This ain't good. Your parent company was just acquired, and Netflix told your parents that they were not entering this marriage if they brought the kids. Your parents chose Netflix and the money over you, which now leaves CNN as orphans. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.